It's D-Lo here again. So now we got people coming out placing blame on Wilder, saying that now because Wilder lost, we can't get the undisputed fight between Wilder and AJ that we wanted for so long. But it seems like they have short memory and they forget that AJ lost before Wilder did. AJ was the one who lost to Andy Ruiz when that fight for Undisputed was there. AJ was the one who decided he wanted to fight Povetkin after coming out saying that he had no interest in fighting Povetkin and he was only interested in AJ, and that's what he was telling his team. So how do we get from that to now, because Wilder took a loss to Tyson Fury, that is all Wilder's fault that we never got the Undisputed fight, and Wilder should have took the fight long ago, and that this Fury fight, this Fury loss for Wilder is the derailment that kept Wilder versus AJ for Undisputed. And now it's like, oh, we'll have to settle for Fury versus AJ for Undisputed. Well, just like we didn't have to settle for Andy Ruiz versus Wilder for Undisputed because there was a rematch clause, Deontay Wilder also has a rematch clause. So Tyson Fury is going to have to beat Deontay Wilder again if there's going to be a AJ versus Tyson Fury Undisputed fight. And AJ has a fight with Pulev, which I expect him to win. But then again, at the same time, we know one good shot could, in the heavyweights could end it all. So AJ has to actually beat Pulev as well. So the way things are looking, that Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch should happen somewhere around the same time frame as AJ versus Pulev, which would be a June, July time frame, unless something changes. So with all of that being said, we're definitely going to get, we definitely will be in a position to get the fight for Undisputed in 2020. Now, as for who the combatants will be, that remains to be seen. And so to me, I think on the Wilder Fury side, the winner of that fight will be available, should be available to fight for Undisputed late 2020. Okay? As for, now that fight rematch happen, that third fight happen. Now as for AJ's side, we know that if AJ messes around and loses to Pulev, then there's another derailment and there'll be a rematch of that fight. But I don't foresee that happening. I think with all things being as they are, we should be able to get that fight for Undisputed late 2020, early 2021 at the latest. But I'm leaning more toward the latter part of 2020. That fight should happen, should be able to happen. It's just going to be whether or not all parties can come to an agreement, which shouldn't be that big of a deal under the circumstances. I think it should be fairly easy for that fight to be made at that point, because I think at that point they're realizing that boxing fans have grown impatient with the stall tactics and marination tactics that go on in the sport of boxing when it comes to these bigger fights. But that's all I got to say on it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the LDBC. Shout out to Marlo's Corner Trades and the whole block fam. I'm out. Peace.